Welcome to Blue Talks.
Have you ever had a difficult conversation? Someone angry, frustrated, or stressed? Or perhaps someone taking out their anger, frustration, and fear on you? Many people can relate to this. Maybe you're the person called in when someone says those dreaded words, "Let me speak to your superior." Is that you? Often, when individuals are in a state of stress, they're feeling those deep emotions of anger, frustration, and fear. They take out those emotions on whichever human is right in front of them. Sadly, they blast this person. They blast them without any realization for how they are treating that human, often because they are feeling their worst emotions, their worst moments, and maybe have room to grow in their emotional intelligence. I will never forget what a senior leadership client recently said to me. She is a human who all day long has people coming into her office, yelling and screaming. She's faced with these moments frequently. And she said this to me one day. She said, "Amy, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. You changed my life with the tools that you taught me. And although I am deeply grateful to have heard these words of praise, what I said back to this leader was, she was the one who had put these tools into practice in her life. My friends, a hammer is only useful when it is being used. We have all attended trainings, read books, listened to podcasts, watched videos. So many amazing tools and lessons unused. And the tools that I'm about to share with you today are only useful if you put them into practice in your life. And pro tip, if you provide yourself with a helpful reminder so that you remember they exist in those critical times. I have heard from countless people over the years that these moments, these difficult conversations have taken a toll. Many clients have shared that this is significantly impacting their mental and emotional well-being at work. It's taking a toll. And our mental and emotional well-being, these are things that we all can take more care of. I'm excited today to share with you these tools, these 3 tools. They are called the gate, the bubble, and the backpack. Now, these are all tools that use the skill of visualization. And in order for these to be effective, it is required that we practice these with commitment and consistent use. This is what is required. A mindfulness article in Psychology Today shared that visualization has been shown to be a useful method for regulating negative emotions such as anxiety and overwhelm. Things we feel when someone is venting their negative energy in our direction. As I said, the first tool is called the gate. I believe that many of us are walking around with our heart wide open, open to any and all negative energy, words, and concepts going right down deep into the core of ourselves. We are letting everything and anyone speak into our heart without limitation. And many people wonder why they feel heavy with that negative energy inside. And they make meaning in themselves about these hurtful words and concepts. If an angry customer is coming at them, they take these words inside. Words such as incompetent, lazy, or stupid, to use as an example. And these words become embedded into their heart and mind. Often, but not always, these words then become part of their identity. For example, I had a client say to me, well, they called me incompetent, so that must mean that I am. Whoa. Who are you listening to? Who are you allowing to speak into your heart and mind? We have an opportunity to use the power of visualization to put up a barrier of protection to help ourselves in those moments. Instead of facing these moments with the gates of our heart wide open, we can choose to close the gates and take a moment to recognize that the person coming at you, so to speak, should not have permission to speak into your heart and mind. And trust me when I say, I rarely use the word should. There are only a select few people who should have access to that space. And someone screaming their head off at you should not have access. The point is, we can become focused on being more selective on who we are allowing in and how deeply we are allowing these words to penetrate into our heart. Stop giving an all-access pass to your heart and mind and use the visualization tool of the gate. Listen, we still do our job effectively with kindness, compassion, with empathy. We hold the space for these individuals. We listen actively, we take notes, and we take action to solve the problem that is causing the pain the person is experiencing in the first place. But we close the gate and we seal it shut. And the phrase that makes this tool even more powerful is, "This is not about me." Meaning, this interaction is not for me to internalize. My friends, it is not about you. Close the gate and then repeat, "It is not about me." Developing strong self-awareness as part of your emotional intelligence is also key. It will allow you to further discredit these negative statements being hurled at you, when you know deep within who you are, those words lose their power. And back to my previous example, if you know that you are competent, then any words coming at you about incompetence, while hurled at you in anger, will have less weight. The final step in this process, and this is the pro tip, remember, is to provide yourself with a reminder of this gate, to post it somewhere. Now, this could be a beautiful painting of a gate or a picture that you find off the internet that simply reminds you of this tool. And I recommend posting it somewhere where you will see it nearby where that person would be walking in. So you are immediately reminded to use that tool when you are dealing with these difficult conversations. And I would love to hold you accountable to taking this action, because action is key. And I invite you to send me a picture of you and your gate. You can send it to me in a direct message on LinkedIn or on Instagram. My handle is @AmyBallantyne. Take that action, my friends. I encourage you to notice how much better you feel when you use this tool called the gate. This leads me to the second tool called the bubble. You may have heard of this one. I invite you to visualize a bubble. Round, smooth, iridescent. Make your bubble a little bit thicker than normal. And when you're heading into a difficult conversation, I invite you to see that bubble all around you. And if hurtful and negative words are like arrows shooting at you, I invite you to see the arrow coming in and bouncing away and falling off. I believe these tools allow us to show up as a better version of ourselves because we become more calm, present, and focused. We don't immediately jump to be defensive. We realize that the negative emotions from others no longer need to be taken within us. They do not need to go inside of us in order for us to be an effective support person. The bubble allows us to use the skill of active listening to its fullest potential because we are no longer busy creating the story about ourselves with those hurtful and negative concepts. And we now can hear what these negative words are. Simply a reflection of the pain that person is experiencing in that moment. It is not about you. This is like the second layer of protection. Just like our skin has many layers of protection, so too can our mental and emotional well-being plan. The more layers equals the more protected we will be in those moments of challenge. The final tool is the backpack. Have you ever heard someone say they feel the weight of the world on their shoulders? Or they have had a heavy day? What are they carrying around in their backpack? What negative energy, what negative stories are they carrying around? And might it be useful to put this backpack down for a little while? Many people get caught in the negative thinking traps of catastrophic thinking, jumping to conclusions, and overthinking. They stew, ruminate, and mull over these situations, believing or falling trap to the idea that this is productive behavior. Mindfulness, meditation, and brain training all have the concept of mental focus in common. What are you focused on? What are you carrying around in your mental and emotional well-being that you could put down for a little while? It's about becoming aware, letting go of the weight of the worry for a time. If you decide to try this tool, I invite you to come up with a physical place in your mind that you will put that down. Perhaps you'll put it in the corner, or you'll take the backpack off and leave it in the car. All of the negative emotions and stories, they can stay there for a while. And if you decide to, you can pick that backpack up again, now or at a later time. Give yourself permission to take a break from the mental weight that you are carrying around, and notice how you feel when you do. Today, I have shared 3 tools with you called the gate, the bubble, and the backpack, which I have personally used and many of my clients have tried and tested over the years. Difficult conversations are inevitable when we are dealing with people. Make this moment meaningful for your mental and emotional well-being by committing to using one or all of these tools, and by putting into place a helpful reminder for yourself. As Mel Robbins says, your mental health is everything. Prioritize it. Make the time like your life depends on it, because it does. Thank you.